and we are starting the session with my lecture. Every time I have been meeting you from the last 4 PAM sessions, and I've been introducing different people. So this time it's me who's starting with the session. The topic that chasing stripes. Why chasing stripes? One thing that we'll not be talking of the striped animal, which is tiger. We'll be talking of other animals too, majorly about tiger, but we'll be talking of other animals too. But wrote this particularly because of what I find as the love for this tiger, a common love that the world has for tiger, which includes me too. So there will be tales that I'll be telling you about of tiger and other animals of different national parks and all. Introducing me, you have been seeing me before, you know me almost, but still. I am Ranu Chauhan and is an assistant professor here in IITM Gwalior. I have worked with Amity University, Noida also, but for major part, I have been associated with IITM Gwalior only. It's, I started as a student here, went on to become a faculty here. So it's more than 12 years that I'm associated with IITM Gwalior. You can find me at chauhan.ittm@gmail.com. My interest areas are wildlife, as you are studying now. वही टॉपिक जो मैं भी ले रही हूँ. So my interest areas are wildlife. All apologies, students. All apologies, students. We had some internet connectivity issue. Continuing again, I said what wildlife tourism is, a very basic general detail about what wildlife tourism is. Now, coming further, we have this Wildlife Protection Act that was introduced in 1972. Under this Wildlife Protection Act, we have certain laws and regulations for how humans should behave with wildlife. So we have made this Wildlife Protection Act to make us understand how should we be treating the wildlife. An amendment to this particular act was done in year 2002, and this amendment was like there were a good number of changes in the amendment. One prominent change being under the laws of poaching and smuggling. So there were these laws of poaching and smuggling that were majorly changed in the amendment of Wildlife Protection Act in year 2002. We'll not go in detail of all these things because we have something else to study. Then came Project Tiger. Project Tiger was, I believe it to be one such successful project that has been launched in the country. It was introduced in 1973, and to believe, before 1973, in the last 40 years, before 1973, in the last 40 years, world over, the population of tigers was depleting at a rate that in 40 years, the number of tigers world over decreased from 1 lakh to a mere 5,000 number of tigers. So this was a huge depletion. So after this launch of Project Tiger, as of now, as mentioned here, India hosts the largest tiger population. We very proudly claim that we have more than 70% of tiger population in our country. So this Project Tiger, which started from, people are raising hand. I just hope and believe that you people are able to listen to me. Host, please keep a check now. Chalo. This Project Tiger was launched from Jim Corbett National Park, and as of now, we have more than almost 39 national parks where this Project Tiger is running. So wherever you have a tiger, you have a project running in the name of Project Tiger, which is basically about conserving, preserving, and ensuring the increase in number of tigers in the country. Then you have Project Elephant also. Project Elephant is again to protect, conserve, and conserve elephants in the country. And this particular project was launched in 1992. When you talk of tiger, elephant, deers, again, we have these animals which can be found throughout the country. As in case of many animals that are specific to certain region or to certain national parks or sanctuaries, we have elephant, tiger, deer being found throughout the country. You go to South India, you go to North India, you find tiger there also, you find elephant in South India, in Manas, Kaziranga, everywhere you find these animals. So this is something that is common throughout the country, throughout the geography of the country. Now, India hosts the largest tiger population. As said, more than 70% of tigers world over are there in our country, and tiger, being as said, is one of the most favorite of gaming animal, has been most favorite of the gaming animals and the big cat family member. So we have this India hosting the largest tiger population, and within India, though you people cannot answer, मैं ही question पूछ के मैं ही answer करूँगी. We have this Atmanirbhar teacher here now who cannot expect answer from you. So within India, which state is the one wherein we have the largest population of tigers? It is Madhya Pradesh. So it is Madhya Pradesh as of now, though a very strict competition is there between Madhya Pradesh and Karnataka, because Karnataka falls short of 2 tigers with the competition. So you have somewhere around 526 in case of Madhya Pradesh and 524 in case of Karnataka. So that there is only less of 2 tigers which can be changed with the birth of any tiger or with the death of any tiger anytime. Then next is India holds world record for world's largest wildlife survey. Now this has been conducted very recently, and we very proudly announce this, that with this Project Tiger, and in the last 6-7 years there has been such good increase in the number of tigers. See what when this UN meeting was held, in that particular meeting, it was claimed for India that India shall double the number of tigers by year 2022. So year 2022, the number of tigers was to be doubled. That was somewhere around 1100, and it was to 1300 or 1400 was the number, and it was to be doubled by year 2002. And we very successfully doubled it 4 years before. That is in 2018 only, we ended up doubling the number of tigers. So by 2018, we had more than 2900, 2940 or some was the number of tigers in our country. So this is a huge achievement, and we are applauded for the same because of the steps that we are taking in the name of preserving tigers in the country and increasing the number of tigers again. It holds the world record of world's largest wildlife survey, which was conducted in year 2018. So in year 2018, there was this wildlife survey that was conducted. There were more than 26,000, somewhere around 26,700 cameras were used, which captured 35 million pictures. So this makes this particular survey as world's largest survey, in which number of tigers and leopards were counted. So this is one again achievement in the name of India. We hold a Guinness Book of World Record for the same. Coming to a further introduction. Yes, wildlife habitat. Now, where do the wildlife live? They live in forests, obvious. Even we used to live in forest, everybody was living in forest, but then we started creating our own space, and we even created a space for the animals. We restricted them to certain spaces, which we call as protected area. Now, what are the different types of protected area? As is mentioned here, we have these 4 major types of protected areas: wildlife sanctuary, national park, biosphere reserve, and zoo. In case of a wildlife sanctuary, what these places are? Just a very small brief of what these places are. When you talk about wildlife sanctuary or a bird sanctuary wherein bird is the main component. So, a wildlife sanctuary or a bird sanctuary. In case of a sanctuary, this will be a protected area wherein the wildlife will be protected. Wildlife, which is flora or fauna, will be protected. And when you talk of the entry and exit in comparison to national park, you have entry and exit as lenient in comparison to a national park. So every protected area, every forest, once it becomes a protected area, becomes a wildlife sanctuary first. After a certain time, a part of the wildlife sanctuary is declared as a national park, the one that is written next to it. So a part of the wildlife sanctuary is declared as a national park after a certain period of time. To a place be declared as a national park, there has to be one animal identified. Now, that does not mean that only one animal will survive there. All the animals will survive as it is, but one animal will be identified on whose name the place will be declared as a national park. For example, in case of Kanha National Park, though we have a good number of tigers there, but still Kanha National Park was declared as a national park in the name of swamp deer, Barasingha ke naam pe. Then we have Gir National Park being declared a national park in the name of Asiatic lions. Jim Corbett in the name of tiger, Periyar National Park in the name of elephant. So we have all these different names. So one animal is identified, cause of which a wildlife sanctuary, a part of wildlife sanctuary will be declared as a national park. In case of wildlife sanctuary, entry and exit is limited and restricted, but is not completely denied, because we usually have बकायदा रास्ते होते हैं वाइल्ड सेंचुरी को क्रॉस करते हुए जाने के लिए. फॉर द वंस हु आर ऑफ दिस लोकल एरिया, इस आसपास के एरिया के होंगे अगर, तो ग्वालियर से व्हेन यू गो टू शिवपुरी, यू क्रॉस दिस एरिया ऑफ वाइल्ड सेंचुरी. तो वो रोड जो है बकायदा आपका स्टेट हाईवे बना हुआ है जो वाइल्ड सेंचुरी के अंदर से जाता है. Now if you go to देहरादून वगैरह जाओगे या हरिद्वार से ऋषिकेश when you are going, so you have this Chila Wildlife Sanctuary. You cross this Chila Wildlife Sanctuary. So you have roads, state highways at least inside wildlife sanctuary, so people can commute. Though the timings differ, the restrictions are there, it can be closed, timings are restricted, कि आप रात को नहीं जा सकते. All such things are there. Human settlement is allowed in wildlife sanctuary because we have different tribes and different people who have been living in the jungles from years, and then they have continued doing so, and they are still living there. So human settlement is allowed in case of wildlife sanctuary. These things are opposite in case of national park. Once an area is declared as a national park, people are not supposed to stay inside. You cannot have permanent accommodation inside a national park. Hotels are there, but hotel is again not a permanent accommodation. वो permanent accommodation है. You do not go to a hotel to stay for permanent. So national park में hotels are possible, but permanent accommodation is not possible. Entry exit is limited. You're required to pay to enter. And like even for exit there are timings. There is a timing for entering the national park. There is a timing for taking an exit from national park. You have to pay for the same again. So this is a very basic idea of what national park is. We have a good number of things to be discussed as the difference between them, but limiting the lecture because of the time. Then we have a biosphere reserve. What is a biosphere reserve? Biosphere reserve is something which is a place declared as a biosphere reserve because of something biodiverse. When you have something biodiverse in nature, you claim that place to be as biosphere reserve. I'll give an example. You have Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve in Uttarakhand. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve में you have this place as Valley of Flowers, जो बहुत उन्हें सुना होगा, is quite a popular place. Valley of Flowers या फूलों की घाटी. So in Valley of Flowers you have thousands of numbers of flowering plants. तो वहाँ पे ना हजारों species है flowering plants की, and is situated like at an altitude which is above 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet के ऊपर जाता है. So when you talk of going to height, जब आप height पे ऊपर जाते हो, you have less of oxygen there. आपका oxygen level कम होता जाता है, और oxygen कम होने की वजह से it is difficult for life to survive. Human life हो, vegetation हो, plantation हो, for life to survive it becomes difficult because of lack of oxygen. So when you see, as you go further up, जब आप ट्रांस हिमालयन रेंज वगैरह जाते हो या फिर लाहौल स्पीति हो गया, लद्दाख वगैरह देखते हो, so you call them as cold desert. Why are they called as cold desert? Because of the height, there is plantation vegetation not possible there. तो वो पूरे deserted areas लगते हैं. When you go above 10,000 feet height, 10,000 feet की height के ऊपर जब आप जाते हो, to Valley of Flowers, you see this flowering plants. हजारों species है flowering plants की. पहले तो plant उग रहे हैं, उस पर भी flower उग रहे हैं. तो this is something that is out of nature. This is something that is taken as something biodiverse. And so is the reason why Nanda Devi is declared as a biosphere reserve. Something biodiverse has to be there. We have good number of other examples, but maybe this example is good enough. Then we have zoo. Wildlife habitat, which is created, is what you call as zoo. Bakiyon mein to you just embark a place. In case of zoo, you create a habitat. So when you go to a zoo, you can see almost major animals that are kept in the zoo. बाकी के केस में opposite ही हुआ कि in case of wildlife sanctuary, in case of sanctuary, national park or biosphere reserve, animals are open and you are protected. In case of zoo, the animals are protected and you are open. So that is the difference. So you have a zoo wherein you can, irrespective of whether the animal is of that particular place or not, you create a habitat for the animal and then the animals are kept for display in a zoo. So this is your brief of wildlife habitat. Now talking of the condition of wildlife in our country, the condition of wildlife in our country or in the world again is at a depleting rate. We have good number of animals that we have lost to extinction. We have good number of animals that are endangered. We have good number of animals that might go endangered in the near future. Good number of animals as well as birds. So what can be the reason for the same? Uska reason kya ho sakta hai? We people shall be given the claim of being the reason for the same. Hum uska reason ho sakte hai. Why? Because of this urbanization, because of increasing demands for land and the forest produce, we are depleting forests. So we are a probable and major reason. This urbanization and this industrialization, all such things are the reasons for the forest depleting and then the number of animals depleting because they are losing their habitat. So we have forests which are overly dependent by animals as well as humans. So we both are dependent on forests. So one has to survive. So we are happily surviving. We are happily increasing our population and the animals population is decreasing. But we shall not be the only people who should be given the responsibility of decrease in the number of animals. Let us share this responsibility with our ancestors or with the generations that were there before. Sharing this picture. Now in the picture, if you are seeing, you have this Indian who like must be a royal family member, koi Maharaja वगैरह रहे होंगे, and then this forge of Britishers here who are happily posting, getting themselves clicked and posting the hunt that they did, which is of these two leopards and then this tiger. So these three animals which are on display is a proud hunting expedition that these people engaged in. Now this was the time which is pre-independence time. This was the time which saw a major setback for wildlife. The major setback for wildlife was this particular time. So whatever we have now shall be majorly contributed because of them. Why so? Is because, see, when you talk of why were the people into hunting and all, these Maharajas and all, in the name of their pastime, what time pass karne ke naam pe, what they had. They didn't have Twitter, they didn't have Insta, they didn't have PUBG. Ab to even we do not have PUBG, but still, wo sab unke paas nahi tha karke. So what was their favorite passing time? One of their favorite passing time was hunting. There has been rulers, there has been kings and maharajas who have their hunting palaces. Unhe baqaida hunting palace bana rakhe, proves how much important hunting was for them. For example, this very popular place of Nahargarh Fort, which is in Jaipur, Rajasthan. That Nahargarh Fort was a hunting fort. You have a wildlife sanctuary even now. Bale sanctuary adi khali hai. Credits to these people and the changing nature again. So they had this Nahargarh as a hunting palace. Unka hunting dwell tha. In case of Govindgarh, which is in case of Rewa, where you have white tigers of Rewa, Rewa ke case mein bhi, they had their palace in Rewa. They made it built, which is a palace, Govindgarh Palace, alag se unhone banwaya, which was the place for them to go for hunting. तो वो उन्होंने hunting के लिए फिर से अलग बनाया. These were the people who were into hunting, और ऐसा माना जाता है that these Maharajas used to start their hunting from the age of 12. So when they start their hunting at the age of 12 and then they used to continue this at an average age till 70. तो 12 से 70 साल के बीच में if one person is hunting, and then there were so many of such महाराजा, जैसे बहुत सारे महाराजा थे, there were good number of princely states, good number of such people were there. So when we have these number of people engaging into hunting, we surely will have the statistics that we have as of now. The data of tiger, lion and every other animal decreasing is very obvious, and credit goes to these people. And then even when Britishers came, even the Britishers were used to do the same thing. These Maharajas used to call these Britishers for morning breakfast के लिए, dinner वगैरह के लिए, for the whole day they used to go for hunting, और hunting के बाद रात को they used to eat the same hunt. जो भी उन्होंने hunt करा होता, they used to eat the same thing. So this was a leisure activity for them. So when hunting wildlife was a leisure activity, so the results that we have are but obvious. We have this very interesting person with us. This picture is of Maharaja of Sarguja. Maharaja of Sarguja was, Sarguja is a place which is near Jhansi. Jhansi ke paas there is this place which is Sarguja. So we have Maharaja of Sarguja, and Maharaja of Sarguja, this picture mein, if you are seeing, we have these 4 tigers that are lying before him. So he is happily showcasing his prized possession of this car as well as these 4 tigers that he has hunted. He even holds the world record for hunting the maximum number of tigers. In his lifetime, he has hunted 1,470 tigers. The number that we had 5 years back. तो 5 साल पहले हमारे पास जितने टाइगर थे उतने टाइगर ही अकेले मार चुके थे. So this is the credit that this person has, and this is the record that this person has created. Now think of it, 1470 tigers were killed by this individual person, and every single other was hunting even 100 tigers. What we would have got in the name of tigers by now. तो आज डेट में हमारे पास बचना ही क्या था. So this is one record that this person holds. Another interesting one. Now this is one of the rarest pictures. This is the only picture that we have that is there in the internet. If you are able to see, we have this Maharaja of Sarguja again. Maharaja of Sarguja ही है. इनके पास सिर्फ tiger hunting का claim नहीं है. He also holds one more record. In the picture, if you are seeing, there are these 3 cheetahs that are lying. So he hunted for the last 3 cheetahs of our country. जब उन्हें hunt कर दिया, उसके बाद पता चला that the cheetahs he hunted were the last 3 cheetahs that existed in our country ever. And from that time till now, we do not have cheetahs in our country. We do not have Asiatic cheetahs in the country. We anyways would have had Asiatic cheetahs only. So Asiatic cheetahs are extinct from the country after this particular picture. This picture के बाद में extinct हो गया. So this again claim goes to Maharaja of Sarguja. Cheetahs are, we are on the verge of, the country and the government wants to reintroduce cheetahs, but how will that be reintroduced? When you talk of Asiatic cheetahs, we usually have these 2 counterparts in wildlife, the popular 2 counterparts, that is Asiatic and African. जैसे cheetah के case में we have Asiatic cheetah and then African cheetah. Asiatic elephant, African elephant, Asiatic lion, African lion. So we have this in most of the other places. Like we have animals at other places also in European countries and America also, but this is like the major ones. And when we talk of Asiatic ones, we usually compare it with the African ones. So these Asiatic cheetahs, as of now, are there in Iran. Iran may we have Asiatic cheetahs whose condition is worse because they are on the verge of extinction. There are fewer in numbers that are left. There are very few Asiatic cheetahs that are left in Iran. So in case if Iran may Asiatic cheetahs finish हुए, this will mean that Asiatic cheetahs will go extinct from the world. Our government is in talks with the government of Iran for shifting few cheetahs, or even if one cheetah can be shifted here, so as we can do some cloning and all, and then can reintroduce cheetah in our country. Iranian government has agreed to this on a condition, and the condition is our country also holds monopoly. Our country holds the monopoly of Asiatic lions. Gir National Park, the only place where we have Asiatic lions in the world. Even in India, it's only Gir where we have the Asiatic lions as of now. So what Iran government wants is, they want to do this barter between. They want Asiatic lion in exchange of this Asiatic cheetah, which the Indian government is not agreeing to, because that's a monopoly that we have created. And government to Gujarat se Madhya Pradesh bhi nahi aane de rahi lions ko. So forget about sending them to Iran. This Gujarat government isn't ready to send their lions to the neighboring state again, despite the Supreme Court declaring, Supreme Court has given this verdict that the Asiatic lions of Gir has to be shifted to Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh, there is this national park, a newly declared national park, which is Kuno National Park, which is in the borders of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. So for this Kuno National Park, that particular place has been identified as a habitat which is suitable for introducing lions as well as the cheetahs. In case if cheetahs are introduced in the country, they'll be introduced in Kuno National Park. So it is believed that major gaming animals will be introduced in Kuno National Park. Tiger can survive there, leopard can survive there because they too are surviving almost at every place in our country. Cheetahs, if introduced, will be introduced in Kuno National Park, and then in case if lions are shifted, they'll be shifted to Kuno National Park again. So Supreme Court has given the verdict that Gujarat government has to release lions, their Asiatic lions, to Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, but उस time पे because the time when verdict was given, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, दोनों में there was BJP government, so they didn't release. They had this mutual consent, or they didn't release this. When Congress government came, the first thing that was done on day one by Kamal Nath government was, day one ka activity that they did was he signed the papers for asking for Asiatic lions to come to Madhya Pradesh, to be introduced to Madhya Pradesh. पर उनका कार्यकाल बहुत छोटा ही रहा, तो his tenure was very limited. उसके बाद वापस से it was the BJP government that came again, and we still do not have lions in Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat still holds the monopoly of having lions in Gir National Park in Gujarat. The only Asiatic lions, the only the breed of Asiatic lions that we have all over the world. Though our scientists have claimed that if they get to visit Iran, and if they get, if permitted, they can take and make a clone out of this Asiatic cheetahs. वो Asiatic cheetah का clone बना सकते हैं, but again the condition remains same. The Iranian government wants to create a same clone from our Asiatic lions, which the government is not agreeing to. Cheetahs were there in good number in our country before. अगर तुम लोगों ने हिस्ट्री सुनी करी होगी, हिस्ट्री की स्टोरीज वगैरह सुनी करी होंगी, तो अकबर यूज्ड टू हैव चीता एज अ पेट. वो अपना पेट रखते थे चीता को, शौक है, बड़े लोग हैं, तो he used to have this cheetahs as his pet, और आज डेट पे तो we have it complete extinct. Now this picture is of Bharatpur, is of Kevladev National Park, in which you are seeing this person, this Indian person holding this bird and showing it to this British lady. So this was a very common scene that time. Now, when you talk of Bharatpur, which was a bird sanctuary before, it was named as Ghana Bird Sanctuary. Ghana and not Ghana. I have heard good number of people claiming it to be Ghana. Please let Ghana be with Africa. What we have is Ghana. Ghana is जो हिंदी Ghana word होता है, that is thick. So Ghana was the name of it. Ghana Bird Sanctuary was the name because the forest was very thick. जो जंगल था वो बहुत घना था, तो it was called as Ghana Wildlife, Ghana Bird Sanctuary, sorry, not wildlife, Ghana Bird Sanctuary. With time, the forest didn't remain Ghana. Forest जो था वो घना नहीं रहा, forest कम होता चला गया और वो घना नाम भी चला गया. So it was renamed as, and it was declared a national park and was renamed as Kevladev. Kevladev is the has been derived. The name has been derived out of the number of out of this temple that you have within this national park. Within the temple, as you enter the national park, you have a very small temple. You usually have किलों में या जंगल वगैरह के आसपास ना आपकी कुछ local deity वगैरह होते हैं. तो इस जंगल में जो local deity थे, local deity है, is Kevladev. Dev is Dev. Kevla is one of the names of Lord Shiva. तो महादेव का एक नाम है Kevladev. So is one form of Lord Shiva which the villagers and the local people and then this jungle people used to revert to. So इस वजह से this particular place was named as Kevladev National Park. They used to be it was famous for migratory birds migrating to this particular place, which has been limited to a very major extent over time. आज date पे you do not have migratory birds coming. We had migratory birds coming from Russia, Serbia, and from this Middle East region and all. We had good number of migratory birds coming, making their colonies here, staying here for months, breeding here for months. This was the ground for all these things. But because of the forest depleting, because of the less rainfall that the place is receiving, there is scarcity of water here. तो पानी कम होने लगा, पानी की जैसे जहाँ ये colonies बनाते हैं, most of the birds where the places where they used to make colonies was near water only. पानी के पास में किसी पेड़ पे 4 पेड़ हुए, एक bird की colony बन गई. इस तरीके से they used to make their groups and colonies. So this wasn't possible for the birds. So these birds have stopped migrating to Bharatpur. But that does not mean that birds have stopped migrating. उन्होंने यहाँ migrate करना बंद कर दिया. They started migrating to some other place. And as identified, the birds who used to migrate to Kevladev have started migrating to a place in Uttar Pradesh, which is Gajraula. There is this place Gajraula, has been recently with after the time that it was seen कि birds यहाँ से वहाँ fluctuate करने लग गई करके migrate कर रही हैं, move कर रहे हैं. Because Gajraula has been declared as a bird sanctuary. There is place Gajraula in Uttar Pradesh where these birds are migrating now. You still have people going to Bharatpur, you still have people going to see birds there, but the number of birds that were migrating to this particular place and staying here for months and all has been limited to a very major extent. So you have this as Kevladev. Now we have Gir National Park. Gir National Park is as we were discussing just now, the one that holds monopoly of Asiatic lions. And this picture, as you can see, you have this lion walking, and then you have these 3 vehicles near to it, and the lion is walking as casual as possible. We have had some very good skill management team working in Gir National Park, because of which the number of lions has increased many folds, not double. The number of lions has increased many fold, and we have very good number of lions in Gir National Park. And whoever visits this particular place, Gir National Park, जो भी visit करेगा, I'm not exaggerating, but it is genuinely like कि अगर कोई अंधा भी अगर इस गिर जाता है करके तो उसको भी शेर दिखेगा ही दिखेगा. This is the number of lions that we have in Gir National Park. We'll come to the story of Gir National Park now. What happened with Gir National Park? See, after independence मिलने के बाद what happened when all these protected areas, these forests were under the Maharajas. Whoever was the local Maharaja or the Nawab of that particular place was, these forest areas were under them. They used to go there for hunting and all. They never used to go alone. They always had somebody accompanying them. So they had villagers accompanying them. So जो villagers वगैरह थे, these villagers used to accompany these Maharajas for जैसे उनका vehicle drive करना है, उनका बंदूक साफ करना है, या फिर to tell tracks कहाँ पर है, फिर उन्हें identify कराए. One villager has seen कि वहाँ tiger गया है, lion गया करके, तो they'll spot it and will come to the Maharaja, फिर उनको लेके जाएंगे करेंगे. So all such things were done by villagers. So villagers used to accompany these Maharajas. जैसे ही independence हुआ, these Maharajas went to their place, या फिर wherever they went, either they went to some place, as in case of Gir National Park, this Nawab of Junagadh, he fled to Pakistan, and this particular forest area was left. So there was nobody claiming this forest area. This was the condition with almost all the forest areas. And in the last slides, if you remember, Wildlife Protection Act came in 1972. Independence we got in 1947. Now, from 1947 to 1972, what were we doing in the name of wildlife? इतने साल हमने wildlife के लिए क्या करा? जो हुआ सब उल्टा हुआ. Example of Gir National Park. So what happened after independence? It was these villages actually started into poaching and smuggling these animals. This was the time again, post 50s, 60s वगैरह का time जो था. France, UK were a very major market for fashion and all. तो वहाँ पर इनके जो skins, bones वगैरह, hides वगैरह, all these things were very marketable things. There were associations who were working, there were groups who were working and contacting these villagers. And these villagers, because they were worse with things, they were worse with hunting. उनको hunting पहले ही पता था कैसे करना है, क्या करना है. So they knew the forest, they knew the animals. So it was very easy for them to engage into hunting and then poaching and then smuggling these animals. And then it was a very lucrative offer for the villagers. It was very lucrative for them. They didn't realize and understand that one day these animals will go extinct and then the nature will be affected, their earnings will be affected. But they were just seeing the first money that they were receiving and the huge money that they were receiving. In case of Gir National Park, what happened? After independence, there was one particular time when the forest authorities identified that the number of lions is decreasing. They identified that the number of lions is decreasing, so they went on to identify. The first thing that the person will do is, why is the number decreasing? So they identified that the reason for a lion's death or the lion's death was that they were starving out of hunger. So they were dying out of starving. वो भूख के मारे मर रहे थे. भूख के मारे मर रहे मतलब they are not getting the natural prey. They are not getting anything to eat. So they identified with their natural prey. For example, say deer हो गया. So identified with the deer population. Contradictorily, the population of deer was increasing. So this actually came as a shock. When the number of deer is increasing, why are lions being dying out of hunger? Why are they not eating the deers? So they were trying to identify what the reason can be. After a few time, they realized and identified, they got to know that the kettles of the villagers are decreasing. जो villages का जो kettle है वो कम हो रहा है, उनकी खेती वगैरह जो है, their farming and everything was being disturbed. And then there was no villager who was coming for complaining, because this is the first thing that the villagers do. कोई शेर आ गया, जानवर आ गया, कुछ भी आया कि उन्होंने kettle मार दिया, उनका खेत खराब कर दिया, हाथी ने खेत खराब कर दिया. These are very common things that even now villagers complain to the forest authorities. And no villager was coming for complaining. So they identified what the reason is, and then they identified that the villagers are the ones who are behind the killing of these lions. What they were doing was they knew everything about lion except they didn't had guns to kill. You see, they एक बार gun से मार नहीं सकते. So what they were doing was they were offering their kettles to the lion. तो वो क्या करते थे, रात को पेड़ पे अपनी केटल को बांध देते थे, और जब लायन खाने आता था तो जैसे ही खाता उसको खाने लगता था तो वो लायन अपने में चला गया, उसको खा रहा है केटल को. उस टाइम पे ये उसको लायन को बेहोशी का इंजेक्शन देके उसको बेहोश कर देते. जब वो बेहोश हो गया उसके बाद उसको किसी भी तरीके से केज में डाल के इम्प्रिजन कर लेते थे, और जो बचा हुआ कैरकेस है, जो उसका बचा हुआ केटल था, उसको खींच लेते थे. उसको पूरा नहीं खाने देते, उसको खींच लेते थे जब वो बेहोश हुआ. उसके बाद जब भी लायन को होश आएगा, they didn't had anything to kill the lion and they didn't had even the guts to fight and go and kill the lion. तो उसको वो starve करने के लिए छोड़ देते थे. फिर वो लायन भूख के मारे तड़प तड़प के मर जाता था, and then they used to sell these skin, bone, hides and all these things. So this was this complete racket that was going on. So when this was identified, a skill management team was introduced in Gir National Park. The villagers were told the importance of environment, of this chain that is there, of how important lions are for the biosphere and for the system. They were told all such things. They were told how important these are for them only. What if the number of lion decreases, lion goes zero करके, what will they be doing after this? तो वो क्या करेंगे, उनको पूरा समझाया करा गया, which was a very good initiative. And then it ended up in, as we know, as of now we have, जैसे बताया कि कोई अंधा भी जाएगा तो गिर में शेर spot कर लेगा करके. So we have this good number of lions there. Is that a good situation? मैं सिर्फ पूछ सकती हूँ, जवाब नहीं सोच सकती, बट स्टिल मोस्ट ऑफ यू पीपल सोच रहे होंगे कि बहुत अच्छा हुआ, कि बहुत अच्छी चीज है, दिस इज अ गुड न्यूज, अ गुड थिंग कि गिर में लायन का नंबर जो है इंक्रीज हुआ, बट दिस इजंट द केस. This is actually something diverse opposite that has happened. Now the problem that this Gir National Park is facing, and the reason why they have been asked to be released in some other forest area, is because, see, when you talk of a lion, what is the characteristic of a lion? The characteristic of a lion is शेर को बोलते हैं ना, जंगल का राजा, is the king of the jungle. So when you have जंगल का राजा means that they create their territory, and no other lion, no other animal is allowed inside their territory. So they create their territory. And how do they create their territory? You must have seen National Geographic Discoveries. For the whole day they play all such things only. So how do they create their territory? They fight with each other. So for example, if there are two lions claiming for a particular area or for a particular territory, they'll fight with each other. The one who wins will take the territory, the one who does not win will be leaving. Now when you talk of win, what do you mean by win? Win is the one who survives. The one who is alive is the one who holds the territory. The one who dies, either the one who dies, or even if the lion does not die, the lion will have so many wounds that out of these wounds only the lion will die in the near future. So this is what has been started in Gir National Park. The lions are fighting for territory now. Gujarat government has been releasing the land area, has been giving more and more land area to Gir National Park. So land area increase kari, but there is a limit to everything. They cannot expect the number of lions to increase, and they cannot expect to keep giving on land to Gir National Park. That is not possible. So in case if we are positive to increase the number of lions, we have to be open to shifting these lions to some other habitat. So this was Gir National Park. There are many great voices, but not all are human. So this is only for what all damage we have done to wildlife and to wild animals. Let us not take these wild animals as such innocent creatures. We have stories wherein this wild animals has disturbed human life also. Shifting the side now, we have Dudhwa National Park. Shifting the side in since by now we were discussing on how we have exploited wildlife. Now let us come on to the point where we have been disturbed because of wildlife. So we have Dudhwa National Park. Dudhwa National Park is in Lakhimpur Kheri area of Uttar Pradesh. It's popular for some very different reasons. For the ones who have been to that area or who are from that area or who have heard of this area, they must be knowing for reasons this particular area is popular for. But still, Sitapur area वगैरह पड़ता है, is like a little far from Lucknow towards Nepal. When you go, you have this particular place and this national park, which is Dudhwa National Park. The story goes like, this is again after independence. This was a wildlife sanctuary area, and then there were villagers who were staying inside. As said, human settlement is possible inside. So there were these villagers who were living in the areas, and then they were disturbed because of the tigers who were converted man-eater. So tiger they were man-eater convert ho gaye the, and then this was the problem that the villagers were facing. Within 5 years, within a span of 5 years, there were 95 villagers that were killed by tiger. So because of these 95 villagers being killed, which was a very alarming number, you anyways have less number of people living in the villages near to this wildlife sanctuary area. So in 5 years, if 95 villagers were killed and the number was increasing every time, they went to the local authorities. The local authority is an awarded forest officer. Mr. H.S. Pawar was the one who was who was the authority in this particular area. They went to Mr. H.S. Pawar and then they asked for permission to kill this tiger. कि सबसे पहला चीज़ है कि हम मार देंगे करके आप बस permission दो हमें कि वो tiger जब जहाँ दिखेगा we'll kill that tiger. He didn't give that permission. That is very obvious again because it was under the forest department. This is somewhere around 1970s की बात है, early 1970s की बात होगी. And then you had laws also regulating the same. So they didn't allow this, but H.S. Pawar formed a committee to identify why is tiger doing this. Sorry, because when you talk of a tiger killing human, this is something not natural. वो natural नहीं. It's a very rare thing. But why will a tiger kill human? One is if they find human to be a threat. या तो उसको इंसान threat लग रहा होगा तब जाके the tiger will attack. And they'll attack. They'll not eat human. There are reasons for the same. कि वो अटैक भी कर लेंगे मार भी देंगे लेकिन खाएंगे नहीं बिकॉज वन इज वी आर नॉट देयर नेचुरल प्रे. देयर नेचुरल प्रे इज रैबिट होगा, डियर होगा, बफेलो होगा एंड ऑल सच आर देयर नेचुरल प्रे. वी आर नॉट देयर नेचुरल प्रे. मेजर रीजन इज व्हेन वी टॉक ऑफ द ब्लड दैट वी हैव, आवर ब्लड इज वेरी स्वीट until and unless जो टाइगर है वो गुजरातियों का तो बात अलग है, गुजराती नहीं हो तो दैट इज नॉट अ वेरी रेगुलर टेस्ट फॉर देम. सो दे डू नॉट लाइक टू हैव स्वीट ब्लड. तो इस वजह से दे नॉट ईट ह्यूमन, तो इस वजह से ह्यूमन को नहीं खाते. सेकंड इज व्हाई डू दे टर्न मैन ईटर इज बिकॉज या तो वो बूढ़े हो चुके हैं. व्हेन दे टर्न एजेड, व्हेन द टाइगर और सच एनिमल टर्न्स एजेड, they find it difficult to hunt because when you talk of hunting a deer भागेगा और इंसान भागेगा, दोनों में बहुत फर्क है. आप कितना भी तेज भाग लो, you cannot run in comparison to how a deer runs or in the name of saving yourself from the tiger. So there will always be a difference. So when the tiger turns or when any wild animal, particularly tiger we are referring to, when they turn old, तो जब उनकी एज हो जाती है तो उस टाइम पे it is difficult for them to hunt for their meal. So it is easier to hunt for human. और आसानी से खाना मिल रहा है तो what else do they want? And then even their teeth becomes weak. So chewing human flesh, which is very soft, and chewing the flesh of deer, which is very hard, is like a comparison is there. So they tend to eat human flesh. But no such thing was there. There was no such report that was submitted that the tigers of Dudhwa National Park were turning aged, and so is the reason for them being turning man-eater. There were 3 reasons that were identified. 3 reasons identified. First reason was that these tigers, the first reason was the fault of the villagers. The villagers were entering the areas of tiger, which is the sanctuary area where there were tigers being protected, because there was no such major embarkation. Entry exit was easy for these villagers. These villagers were also into going to forest to collect wood वगैरह collect करते थे, अपने animals को graze कराने के लिए. They used to go there for grazing their animals. For all such things they were entering inside. अब जब शेर के मुंह में या बोलते हैं शेर के मुंह में चले जाना करके, which is a dialogue. So when you are entering the area of tiger, you should expect that you can be attacked and killed. So this was first reason. Second reason was that these tigers were entering their area. अब ये तो गए वहां पर समझ में आता ना, why were these tigers entering the area of villagers? They were entering the area of villager was because when you see this particular land area and this particular place which is Lakhimpur Kheri वगैरह जो area हुआ यूपी का, this area has very extreme summers, बहुत extreme summer होता है. And these animals have this tendency of, जब afternoon होता है, afternoon time में इनका afternoon 10 बजे शुरू हो जाता है by the way. तो from 10 o'clock when the sun is up और वो गर्मी बहुत होती है करके, these animals tends to go for rest. वो rest करने जाते हैं. Rest के लिए when you talk of this boundary that was there between the agricultural lands land and the forest land, the area which was between the no man's land जो होता है, this no man's land had the cultivation of sugar cane. वहाँ पे sugar cane उगा रखा था. When you talk of sugar cane, तो ये टाइगर जो थे वो अपना फॉरेस्ट एरिया जैसे ही छोड़ते थे वो सीधे शुगर केन के फील्ड पे आते थे. When you talk of sugar cane में as we see they are tall enough but they do not give shade. उससे shade नहीं मिलता, तो you cannot protect yourself from sun. तो टाइगर उस एरिया को छोड़ता हुआ फिर द टाइगर यूज्ड टू एंटर एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड, एंड एज वी नो द एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड, दिस पर्टिकुलर एरिया इज वेरी रिच विद एग्रीकल्चर. तो उनके एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड खूब हरे भरे अच्छे खासे अच्छे बड़े पेड़ होते थे. तो यूज्ड टू एंटर दिस एरिया. सो दिस वाज द सेकंड रीजन दैट वाज आइडेंटिफाइड दैट दिस टाइगर इज एंटरिंग देयर एरिया, द एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड एरियाज इन आफ्टरनून या फिर इन वन एट वन ऑफ द अदर टाइम्स, और सुबह के टाइम पे भी एंटर कर जाते. उनको रास्ता मिल गया, उनको समझ में आया कि वहां जाके रेस्ट कर सकते हैं. तो सो दे यूज्ड टू गो टू दीस एरियाज फॉर रेस्टिंग. The third reason that was identified was the exact time of attack. What was the time when they were attacking? The time when they were attacking was identified as, see, one is the tigers or any wild animal is always afraid of human. They're always afraid of human, but when were they attacking? At the time when these villagers were either going for stooping or were bending down for कटिंग द ग्रास. या तो वो अपने रोज सुबह का काम करने जा रहे थे खेतों में जो जाते थे. अब तो वी हैव द गवर्नमेंट चेंजिंग द सिनेरियो, बट वी हैड दिस विलेजर्स गोइंग फॉर देयर मॉर्निंग रिचुअल एंड or when they were bending down to cut the grass. When you see both the positions, when you see human in both the positions, one when they are stooping and one when they are bending down to cut the grass and all, खेती वगैरह करने के लिए, the figure that you see is not a human figure. The figure that you see is an animal figure. So it was believed that this tiger was by default understanding, by mistake was understanding this figure to be an animal figure, and then it was attacking human, because in general they do not attack human, one because they're even afraid of it, of humans. So this was Dulhwa National Park. They were further jo ho gaya, but there were further steps taken by the administration ki how to protect villagers from tigers. So what they did was, one was the villagers were relocated to some other place, and they were given separate grazing land for their cattle. So the major reason for them entering forest was उनका जो cattle है वो grazing कहाँ करेंगे, वो graze कहाँ करेंगे, घास वगैरह कहाँ चरेंगे. So they were given separate grazing land, they were relocated, and because the tiger has turned man-eater, कि बोलते हैं ना मुंह में खून लग गया करके, तो because the tiger has turned man-eater, एक बार भी अगर आदमी को खाया करा तो वो उसको आसान जिंदगी की आदत हो जाती है, तो they turned man-eater, so they had to be killed. So an order was issued that the man-eater tigers will be killed. Question is, how will you identify that the tiger is man-eater? You cannot throw a human before the tiger कि अब देखो वो खाता कि नहीं खाता करके man-eater बना कि नहीं बना करके, and we anyways do not understand and identify कि वो tiger man-eater है. तो इस वजह से there were good number of tigers that were killed. आज डेट पे when you go to Dudhwa National Park, in the entrance you have a skin, a hide of a tiger that is displayed there, and it is written, why was I killed? क्योंकि आपने man-eater tiger के नाम पे आप इतने ज्यादा tigers मार दिए, या ऐसे tiger भी मार दिए who weren't man-eater, which cannot be identified. So this was the story of Dudhwa National Park. Coming next is Sundarbans. We are falling short of time. I'll finish Sundarbans and then we'll take your questions. Yes, Sundarbans. Sundarbans is again a biosphere reserve. It's declared as a biosphere reserve because of what do we have there? Because of the mangroves that we have. We have mangroves there, and these mangroves, we have world's largest mangroves in Sundarbans, which is part in West Bengal, part in Bangladesh. These mangroves are part in West Bengal and Bangladesh. The ones we'll be discussing will be of West Bengal only. Sundarbans is rich with mangroves. Sundarbans is rich with Royal Bengal tiger, whose royalty we'll be discussing how royal this Royal Bengal tiger is, which is our national animal. But this Royal Bengal tiger, and for honey, you have good number of villagers who enter Sundarbans for collecting honey. This is their livelihood. So we have this honey exported to world countries. We can this is the reason why people enter inside, and then fishing also. बंगाली और मच्छी ना हो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता, तो मच्छी के लिए भले ही टाइगर का सामना करना पड़े, they enter the Sundarban river water areas to get fishes. तो वो मछली के लिए भी fishing के लिए भी they go to Sundarbans. और उसी टाइम पे this is the time when they are attacked by tigers. So there has been good number of cases wherein the villagers are attacked by the tigers of by this Royal Bengal tiger of Sundarban. Now when you talk of अगर tiger आ गया सामने, तो what will you do? पहले तो हार मान लोगे, सबसे पहली चीज तुम करोगे ही क्या, जो करेगा टाइगर करेगा. but still, like, what are the possible things that you can do? As usually said, when you encounter a wild animal, what you can do is, "Aap ped pe chad jao," is what you say. But when you talk of this Royal Bengal tiger, the royalty of Royal Bengal tiger is कि तुमसे तेज पेड़ पे चढ़ जाएगा. It can climb tree. So you cannot save yourself from by climbing tree. Second is you can go to water. आप पानी में चल जाओ, उसके आसपास पानी काफी होता है, पानी में चल जाओ. This Royal Bengal tiger swims also. ये Royal Bengal tiger जो है, ये swimming भी करता है. But this is one thing. Is the picture of villagers collecting honey. वो honey collect कर रहे हैं. This is your Royal Bengal tiger climbing up the rope, और उसमें climbing up this tree. उसमें जो रस्सी लगी हुई वो उसकी आसानी के लिए नहीं है. This is for the villagers to climb the tree easily. So आसानी से villagers जो वो tree climb कर जाता है और tiger को भी फायदा हो जाता है. Now this is your Royal Bengal tiger in one of the poses where he's in the water, swimming in the water. So you can even not be spared by tiger when you enter water. Now what has been done? करा क्या गया है to save the villagers. There has been steps taken to save the villagers. Anyways, the first step that has been taken years before, 30-35 साल पहले जो करा गया था. This picture, as you are seeing, the mask picture that you are seeing. So these villagers started wearing masks behind their face so as tiger gets to understand. वैसे wild animals के केस में the condition is as in case of lion, the condition is they do not attack from behind. तो पीछे से अटैक नहीं करते कभी. Royal Bengal tiger की royalty, they attack from behind. They attack from front also, they attack from behind also. So they started wearing masks behind, and whenever they used to work, they used to wear this mask behind so as the tiger understands that their person is seeing him. So when the person is seeing him, they didn't used to attack. But with time, the tiger wasn't a fool. So the tiger understood कि ये आगे भी देख रहे हैं, पीछे भी देख रहे हैं. How is it possible? And even despite these masks being worn by the villagers, the tiger was attacking. The tiger started attacking them again. Then this middle picture that you're seeing, which is actually an effigy. So for this new idea came to the forest people, and then they started establishing these effigies, which are made of, say, लकड़ी के ऐसे effigy वगैरह बनाए. And these effigies used to be exactly similar to how these villagers were. उनको धोती वगैरह बनाई, गमछा वगैरह पहनाया, काम करते हुए बनाया गया. They were very natural effigies that were installed there. And then they were electrified. These effigies were electrified with a very minimal shock, which wasn't harmful for the tigers. जो tiger के लिए harmful भी ना हो, that is obvious. So they were electrified so as whenever the tiger used to attack, the tiger used to get a shock, and then वो पीछे से गिर जाता था. तो the tiger started realizing and understanding कि if tiger attacks some such figure which is a human figure, उसको current लगेगा, and it anyways cannot kill and hunt this particular figure which is a human figure. So this was what was being done in case of Sundarbans. Host, I request you to open the chat, please. They can message me and I'll finish this slide also. There are a good number of slides that we are left with. I do not know how to cover all these ones, but still. We have white tigers of Rewa. Rewa claims to be the place from where white tigers were identified for the first time, and whichever white tiger we have world over as of now is the contribution of Rewa. There was Maharaja Martand Singh Ji, of Rewa. He was the one who was on his hunting expedition. हमेशा की तरह, हर महाराजा की तरह, he was on his hunting expedition, and in his hunting expedition he saw this one tiger who was named as Mohan later by him only. उसका नाम मोहन रखा गया out of love. So Mohan, this particular tiger was seen who had this blue eyes and complete white tiger was there. This is because of abnormality actually. Abnormality की वजह से there is nothing कि वो beautiful लग गया is a different thing, but that is some genetical disorder that this particular species had, and then it continued further again. So there was this, so this was the first tiger. Maharaja Martand Singh Ji, rather than decided not to hunt that tiger, rather than that, he saved that tiger. उस tiger को save करा. Save करके this tiger was the tiger was kept in this Govindgarh area. Govindgarh में उसको रखा गया करके. You have Govindgarh sanctuary as of now. You have a zoo there. Is the first zoo which has started white tiger safari in the world. So the first place where white tiger safari is there is this Mukundpur Zoo. Mukundpur Zoo is the name of Govindgarh Wildlife Sanctuary. So it's the first place where you have white tiger safari. So this Mohan that was there, Mohan was mated with the local tigress, and then they produced 4 cups, and these 4 cups again turned out to be the golden colored ones. Then further, this process went on further of dheere dheere karte karte, there were these white tigers being born. फिर white tigers हुए, और फिर we have good number of white tigers as of now in the country as well as outside the country. Maharaja Martan Singh ji ने खुशी में दूसरे countries में भी इनको gift करा. These Maharajas of one country to the other country, they used to have this gifting process also. तो उन्हें दूसरे country को भी gift करा करके. So we have these white tigers around the world, and is the contribution of Riva, of Mohan. Every single tiger that we have, white tiger that we have in the country, is a descendant of Mohan. We have chats coming now. This is your machli. I so much wanted to talk about machli, but we do not have time now. I have to take your questions also. It's only 1 minute left. So we have this as machli of Ranthambore, the most photographed tigress in the world. I'll request you to see the last video of machli. Last video, matlab there is this video shoot when machli was dying. Machli is also the tigress who has lived for the maximum life. The maximum life that any tiger or tigress has lived is machli. Please do watch BBC World की कोई ना कोई documentary होगी. You see the documentary. You see this video जब वो when machli is dying. She was so photogenic. She was so camera friendly. The time when she was dying, तो वो मरते हुए भी, before she took her last breath, she gave a look to the camera, and then with the last look in the camera, she took her last breath. So this was how camera friendly this particular tigress was. Bison ki story, I'm unable to share all these stories, but maybe some other time if we get a chance, we'll be sharing all these stories. Then we have this Hangul deer of Dachigam, is again an endangered species of Kashmir. Dr. Salim Ali, who was called as the Birdman of India. It's not Salim, it is Salim. Dr. Salim Ali was called as the Birdman of India. Mr. Jim Corbett, on whose name our first national park of the country is named as Jim Corbett. Maybe people cannot identify this person, but you should be, because this person is Jadav Mulai Payam, who is the forest man of India. This person has been awarded to picture edit ho gayi. He has been awarded as with the name of Forest Man of India by the government of India, and the picture in which he's receiving this award is by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. This person single-handedly created a forest. उन्होंने forest create करा, and the forest that has been created is now houses. मतलब उसमें every single tree has been planted by Jadav Mulai Payam. उन्होंने बचपन से plant करना start करा, and as of now this forest is named as Mulai Sanctuary. It's a wildlife sanctuary and houses 5 Royal Bengal tigers. Now think of when you have 5 Royal Bengal tigers in the jungle, how huge that jungle must be that this person has created. So this is it. I had to finish the last slides very fast. Couldn't discuss much. Yes, I have your questions. Gautam Paul is asking, do you think that it is fair to ask for Asiatic cheetah from Iran while they are extinct in India when Iran asked for this? Also, have we given the authority for them to collect the samples? No, we have not given them samples. It is not wrong to ask for it, because we in any way is working for wildlife. We are not talking of कि हम सिर्फ इसको इंडिया में introduce करना चाहते हैं. The condition of Asiatic cheetahs is worse in case of Iran. Every year they are dying. So in any ways, we are doing it good because we have a very good name. Believe us, India has a very good name in the name of protecting and conserving wildlife. The number of lions that we have conserved, the number of tigers that we have conserved, we have a very good name in the name of wildlife. And asking for Asiatic cheetahs from them is not at all good, not at all bad. But the only thing is, if they are asking for Asiatic lions in return, that is obvious. That's a little obvious that they will be asking. Some few more questions. Can Asiatic cheetahs be created by crossbreeding? Researchers claim this. We have an institute that is dedicated for the same, who's working on the same without a clone again. They do not have a clone of it, but they're working on the same. Do not know whether it will be successful or not. I cannot give an answer whether the cloning and crossbreeding will turn out to be successful, but plans are on. What are the opportunities in wildlife tourism? There are a good number of opportunities in wildlife tourism. We have connecting wildlife with photography. We have had our alumni who are wildlife photographers. And then there are very popular wildlife photographers. Their pictures has been hosted by National Geographic also. They have been doing wildlife photographies for Nat Geo also. And then there are a good number of other things. You can become a wildlife guide also, which is a very lucrative job. Yes, I was eagerly waiting to have a session from you. Okay, thank you so much. My name is not there in the feedback form. IITTM host, if you can do something and can put my name in the feedback form. So attendance. Any other question? Any else question? Or koi question? Job opportunities we have discussed. Name is not showing. Why Gujarat government is not in favor of translocating lines to MP? So this is very obvious. They have this monopoly. Who wants to lose their monopoly? Had it been any other state, they would have done the same thing. Though they are doing it, stretching it to a very longer extent, which they should not, in favor of lines at least. But this is very obvious. Like one who has a monopoly wants to keep monopoly. Thank you so much, students. How we can make career in wildlife apart from photography. Apart from photography, how can you make your career? As said, you can become wildlife guides. You can become naturalists, and for this again, we have good number of alumni who have become wildlife guides. बहुत सारे alumni हैं हमारे. We have been training guides of different states who are wildlife guides. In case if you want, you can ping me on WhatsApp. I can share their numbers so as they can share their stories and experiences and what all things are required to get into wildlife tourism. Thank you so much, people. We have our next lecture. All apologies. मैं शायद 5 क्वेश्चन पूरे नहीं ले पाई. मुझे 5 क्वेश्चन दिख भी नहीं पा रहे. PETA का कुछ क्वेश्चन था. Ma'am, has PETA been able to contribute in saving lions in India specifically? PETA has been doing good number of things. See, what PETA do is they do awareness. The main work that PETA is into doing is awareness. They make people aware. They make people listen to how important it is to save animals. So yes, awareness has been created by PETA in India and world over, and people have been listening to them. But ground realities are like making the villagers, the one who are into poaching and smuggling, are the ones who do not listen to PETA anyways. But yes, authorities have been listening to them. We have been under pressure of PETA for most of the things. But yes, one thing that I forgot to mention was, despite PETA working like all these things, and what is the current status of poaching and smuggling? आज date पे we have this very big market, which is Chinese traditional medicine market. The Chinese traditional medicine market, जो उसके नाम पे आज date पे we have tigers, lions, and everything being tiger, lion, and even this leopards, pangolin, which is one animal which is the most trafficked animal in the world, which is pangolin. So all such animals are trafficked, are hunted, are poached and trafficked to China and to this golden triangle of Southeast Asia, to this area which is the major area for trafficking. This golden triangle of Southeast Asia is a major area for trafficking, animal trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking for almost everything this particular area is popular for. So we have to save ourselves from this, because this is the current scene that is going on, which is a drawback in the name of wildlife. I'll finish this now. All apologies. We have to start our other session. Let us join the other session, which is